What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here in London and I'm with Scott and we're going to shoot a video all about film photography, getting started, little tips and tricks, things we've learned, mistakes we've made, kind of have a bit of fun, vlog it a bit and go from there.
Sounds fun.
But before that,
food.
Let's grab some food. Before we actually eat, we better get some film because neither of us have any.
Out. Yeah.
So we're going to this place, the London Film Lab. What do we go for then, Scott?
So we've got one Kodak Gold 200 and one Kodak Ultra Max 400.
Nice.
So looking forward to trying out the. I've had the Ultra Max 400. I've shot 2 reels of that so far. So I'm looking forward to checking out the Kodak Gold 200 just to mix it up.
Nice. So yeah, we're gonna go get some
tones.
food now. We'll put the rolls in, and then we'll go through a little bit of like, getting started and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Food time. Actual for real now.
Yep.
Go on then, Scott. What did you go for?
So I went for the Hong Kong toast. You have to go for that if you come here. And I went for the pork chop with rice.
How are you feeling about that then, Scott? That looks banging.
We've got a lot, mate. We've got a lot. We've been eating well today, but yeah.
Eating good and shooting good, hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Before we start shooting film, I wanted to kind of go through why we're making this video, because film is very, very different to digital. We both grew up in a very digital world. Scott will agree. I've only ever really shot digital. Even as a kid, film wasn't really a thing. So since I've been shooting film, it's really changed the way that I shoot when I shoot digital, because I do digital for a living. And I literally, I couldn't recommend it more. So the point of the video is essentially that Scott and I are going to go through why we've started shooting film, what we've found since starting to shoot film. What we'll do is we'll start off with what I've gone for. So today I've gone for Kodak Gold. When you're shooting film, what film stock you go for is really important, because every film stock will give you a different look. So you've got to take that into consideration. You also got to take into account the lighting situation you're going to be in. So for us now, we're going to be in, it's going to be mostly sunny, maybe a bit cloudy, maybe a bit rain, who knows. So I've gone for something that's fairly slow. I've gone for 200 ISO. So one mistake you can try and avoid, which I've done a million times, is when you first put the film in, make sure that you change on mine. Here is the ISO dial, so you can like move it round. I've actually already moved this to 200, but the amount of times I've left it on 400 or 800 or whatever, or 100, whatever. But make sure you change that. Make sure you change that. So yeah, today I've gone for 200. The reason why is because I need it to be slightly slower where it's going to be bright. I want to try and give myself a bit more flexibility. And also Kodak Gold, I've actually not shot it yet, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. I think on that note, let's go shoot. So we're just on our way to get some shots. I'm obviously going to be doing bit of filming behind the scenes, give the camera to Scott a little bit as well. One thing I would say actually before we start, one bit of advice is I would find someone who is skilled in film to lean on them a little bit, ask them a few questions. So I will caveat this video with, I haven't done loads of shooting film, kind of a bit of a new thing for me. It's definitely new for Scott. We have a little bit of knowledge and we've got friends who have got knowledge. So we have a little bit of knowledge, but I would definitely recommend find someone who is a bit more knowledgeable in shooting film. They'll be able to help you out. They'll be able to tell you sort of little things to avoid. Obviously YouTube is brilliant for that, and we'll try and give you as much information as possible. But yeah, let's go shoot some film. What are you saying, Scott?
Not for me, no, this one.
So
looking at this frame here with the guy with the yellow shorts, this basketball court, but the height is quite messy. I'd have to prefer the frame on the right, with the background a bit leaves with the foliage and less to kind of spoil behind the frame. But
yeah, nice.
For other subjects. But on the right, I would prefer the guy with the yellow shorts to go on the right, because it adds that little bit of colour focus, or you're drawn to that colour. So I'm not going to get the shot.
So we're not going to take the shot, and actually we were talking about this earlier, and it's actually one of the positives of taking or shooting film is you really think about what you're taking, right?
100%. We're digital, so you can take, like with digital, my digital camera would have probably taken this photo, and then it would have gone in the coal pile at home. But because I'm shooting film and I've got 36 images I can take, I'm not going to take it. It needs to, you know, for me, it needs to be a really good image for me to take it here. So, and yeah, it's not. So
we move on.
Move on. Yeah.
Scott is risking it all to get this shot in the middle of the road. Piece of advice is don't always risk it all for the shot. Scott is a very experienced risk taker, aren't you, Scott?
I take too many risks, yes, but for some shots, you know,
are worth it.
Every day in London, for me, you can be in the middle of the road, they're not going to run you over. You hope anyway.
Yeah.
So sometimes you stop in the middle of the road for the shot. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes not. But I haven't been run over so far, so you keep me going.
So far. I wanted to ask you, Scott, and this is actually a good question generally.
Yeah.
You've just got that camera.
Yeah.
And obviously choosing your film camera is quite important. It's one of the kind of main aspects of when you first start getting into film photography. So tell me, why did you choose that camera?
So I was searching about for like a good starter camera into film, and I'm a bit nostalgic with Nikon anyway. I started out on digital Nikon. I came across this Nikon F100, and it's fully automatic if you want it to be, but also you can set it up as manual. So for me, to slowly integrate into film, to have some auto kind of options, for me I think it was the perfect starting point. So hopefully from here though I'll pick up some other film cameras, completely manual, but yeah, more of an introduction, and we'll go from there.
I'm just going to quickly caveat what Scott was saying. When you choose your camera, a really good place you might want to start is with a point and shoot, because the more automatic it is, the easier. Just make sure you do the simple things right, like select the right ISO or ASA, same thing. Yeah, so when you start shooting, a point and shoot is a good place to start before you then start going a bit more manual.
I just started to check my story from earlier that we put up, and
it's
you've got
Instagram stories.
Got a lot of views.
So the picture of me, do you want to flash it up? That there, moneymaker apparently.
I don't know about that, mate, but
no, definitely not.
You have got 41 people checking you out, your profile.
Oh, it'd be nice if they followed me.
And 11 people checking out the coffee shop. So
love it.
Yeah. So
exposure all round.
Exposure. There we are.
So I just asked Scott, a bit of a joke, to show me his image he just got, and obviously we can't see it because it's on film. But in my opinion, that's actually one of the best things about shooting film, is you don't get that instant gratification. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, kind of takes you back to when I was. I used to go back to when I was younger. So I was like an 18-year-old with a group of kind of guy friends at school. Generally, as an Englishman, you would go to maybe, I don't know, somewhere in Spain or somewhere just to let off steam after your exams, etc. And I remember going out to them trips, and you'd all take a disposable camera. You come back, you develop them. A week later, you'd meet up again in a cafe or pub, and then you would share around the imagery. And a lot of times you'd forget about the moments that you captured, and it's a kind of looking back, nostalgia, remembering the moments, you know, as you captured them there and then. It was just something beautiful and really nice about that, and that's what I'm really looking forward to with film, is to catch these moments, but have that real. A week later, 2 weeks later, when I get them developed, that real kind of, I don't know, feeling again of like, oh yeah, that happened, I saw that, and you know, you don't get that with digital. With digital, you go straight home, SD card in the computer, and then you go through and cull your shot straight away, and yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to having with this film.
So tell me, what are you looking out for then that's different when you're shooting film versus digital?
Oh, good question. I suppose not really looking for anything different. I'm just trying to ensure that I capture the best frames possible. So I think we were saying earlier, like obviously with digital you can take as many photos as you want basically, and then cull later. With film you've got to make sure that the image you're capturing is a good image. So I think if there's anything that I'm looking for more is maybe colour combinations of film. Obviously I'm a novice, but I feel that colour and film go together very well. So I suppose I am looking for like colour combinations more with film. But apart from that, just looking for them killer images really.
6 million ways to die, choose one.
There is a bit of an elephant in the room when it comes to film photography, and that is the cost involved. Obviously, when you first start film photography, you're probably coming from a place of digital. Digital obviously is expensive to set up. You've got a massive camera, a massive lens set, and all that good stuff. It can be expensive. To then add film on top of that is probably a cost you're not looking for. So the piece of advice that I could best give you, or the couple of pieces of advice that I could best give you are, first of all, when you first start out, find a cheap and cheerful camera, something quick and easy, like a point and shoot, like I said earlier, or just shop around and look for a good deal. There's Amazon, the Facebook Marketplace, places like that. You can go to thrift shops and things like this. Then you'll pick up cameras much cheaper. The other thing as well is when you first start, you don't have to go for a mega expensive film stock. Try something cheap like Kodak Color Plus, or even Kodak Gold isn't that expensive, and there are obviously cheaper options out there. Again, shop around, find what works for you. The one other thing I would look at doing is find somebody who can develop the images at a decent cost, because some places are much more expensive than others. And if you find someone that does it at a decent cost, look at starting off by getting it low res, because 90% of the time you aren't going to print them, they're just going to go on Instagram. So you can have a low res because that's going to be absolutely fine, and if you wanted to make them higher res, which is obviously more costly, you can go back and do it another time. Whoa, it made me jump, man. So as I've got you here, Scott, making me jump, why did you decide, yes, I'm going to start shooting film?
I think it's always something that's I've looked at and something I would always wanted to try. But I thought right now, I've just come back from a trip, right? For 3 weeks I've taken 25,000 images, which is ridiculous. And with film, I think it really gives you an opportunity to slow down and try and like shoot less, shoot more with more purpose maybe. So I think I think it's gonna be good for me personally to shoot more on film, learn to slow down, learn to shoot less, maybe with a bit more precision or purpose, and then hopefully that will make me a better photographer in the long run, and have an impact on my digital work as well.
So I haven't actually taken too many shots, I've been getting all the B-roll and stuff, but Scott has, so let's see how he's been getting on. Scott, talk to me, how are you getting on?
Enjoying it, enjoying the process, enjoying the slowing down, thinking about my shot more, being a bit more precise and what I capture. And yeah, I've taken 10 shots today, so not many at all. I think normally by this point I'd have taken probably 100, so I'm really enjoying the process of slowing down.
Right then guys, so I think we're at the end of the video. It's the first time I've vlogged, so you'll have to bear with me. Could have been a tragic video. Thank you to Scott for his help, he's over there. I think just to summarise, for me, shooting film photography has been, it's like it strips it back to kind of a bit of a more pure form of photography. I really enjoy it. Like Scott said, it slows you right down. You think about things much more, and honestly, I actually find it much more enjoyable than shooting with digital. Digital's good. Hi, Scott.
Hey,
digital is great, don't get me wrong, and obviously you're not going to stop shooting digital, but for me, when I'm shooting film, it's a really beautiful art form. I really enjoy it much more than I enjoy shooting straight with digital, so give it a try. Like I said, be clever when you first buy a camera. Be clever when you first buy a camera. Don't go balls deep and buy £1,000 Leica. Start with something cheap, easy. Shoot, point and shoot is a perfect way to start. Start with some cheap film stock. Enjoy the process, because it is a much slower, longer process. You'll probably end up having just as many good images as you did anyway. But yeah, anything else you need to add, do you think?
No, mate, I think you summed it up really well. So yeah, really enjoyable day out with the new cameras, and
yep.
Yeah, all film ahead from here.
Yes, and coming soon, or has already been released, and if it has, then watch the video, but coming soon probably, we've done a Street Life Stories with Scott, so something to look forward to.
Check it out, maybe.
Right.
Cool.
Until then, see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace out.
one.